Welcome all. As you know, we are gathered here for the Mothers Day celebration and we are celebrating our 13th annual day. In the sequence of interviews, now we are welcoming our Director of Operation, Mr. Gunjan Tripathi, who is known for his management skill in the companies and also termed as management guru. So all welcome Mr. Gunjan Tripathi. Welcome sir. Welcome sir. Welcome sir.
Thank you, Shweta.
So very congratulations on completing 13 years and your guidance and your leadership has always been there helping us. So starting with us around, what does the 14th day actually means for you, the 14th year of him?
At the outset, let me congratulate all the Vidajites for completion of 13th year and starting of 14th year, as you rightly mentioned. And it's a very special moment. Every Mother's Day is a very special moment. And we are highly charged, we are super excited, and we are entering into 14th year of Medhaj with a position of strength. And as we move ahead in your interview, I'm sure you are going to grill me, shoot a lot of questions. But I want to congratulate each one of you and our leadership team. At the outset, I want to thank our CMD for having given me this opportunity to be one of the directors in the company. The company, because I always used to admire people who spend their career for 25 years, 30 years. I have met only few people like that, and I always wanted to be one of them. But I never had that stable mindset. So I did change a couple of jobs prior to Medhaj, and now it has been 9 years I have been in Medhaj, and so I thank our CMD sir for giving me that opportunity where I can, after few years, I should be in a position to say that yes, I also completed my 25 years in a company. And so you can continue with your questions. I know many more to come.
It's the 14th Mother's Day. So naturally, lots of plans, lots of strategies as every year is eyeing. But there is something special which you are eyeing to change yourself or you're changing in the operations and the processing of the company. You're eyeing something in this new to be involved or something?
See, the kind of organization we are, first of all, we have to understand that we are a consulting organization. And consulting organization, for it to be respected and for it to be accepted as a consulting organization, the first litmus test is it has to be a successful organization itself. When I say successful means it should be financially successful, it should be successful in its practices, it should be seen as someone to emulate for its financial results, for its practices. So we have to continue with the journey, whatever we have done so far, because we are seen as a successful company. 13 years, every year turnover has gone up, every year our employee base has gone up, number of offices have gone up, number of services have gone up. So we are on the right track. And we see Mother's Day as an opportunity to introspect that what all right things we have been doing so far, what is the course correction we need at this point of time. And so yes, we do have some strategies going ahead, and you want me to talk about those strategies now, or?
The basic idea was like that the company has completed 14 years and actually it's stand up a mark. But do you feel that it's the appetite or company is way beyond going further also?
Oh, absolutely. I think we are just at the tip of the iceberg. And when I started my interview by saying that we are super charged, super excited because the situation we are in. And let me tell you why I am personally super excited. If you remember my interview which I had published 2 years, 3 years back, what will bring magical change in power sector? And I always quote this study. And I think this is the right time to, the kind of environment we are in, we should talk about it, that India had 35% of GDP share of the entire world in 18th century, which was around 1750. And I am not saying this is not my study. This is study of noted economist Angus Maddison, and a detailed study was done by OECD about many years back, and this was published But unfortunately, this has never been taught to a length at which it should have been taught. And I had actually published some of this. And when 35% of GDP was coming from India in 18th century, what is it which happened in last 200, 250 years that we came down to somewhere in the range of 2.5 to 3%. When we got independence, we were in the range of 2.5%. Today also we hover around 3%. So every Indian should feel cheated, should feel looted, that we are a citizen of a looted country and we have to revive it. In fact, in my article, I had written about the same article that we need a blueprint which from 3% to 35%. How do we revive from 3% to 35%? And if you look at the time when we were 35%, what was India's speciality? Every village was an independent economic unit. We were the only strength, and people actually from other part of the world, they came to India. Chinese had come to India and they learned our economic system and found that what is so special about India. So one village does not need anything from the other village. Why? Because we had our own Gurukul system. We used to teach Vedas. No one needed any healthcare because the practices, the habits of everyone used to be so good. They used to travel many miles to get water from the well which was not in their vicinity. So they were physically fit. So all those practices led to the economic independence of our each and every village. And now and in fact, I had requested in various forums that I would vote for the government which will actually talk about 3% to 35% blueprint. And now what are we talking about after Corona? That how do we become Atmanirbhar Bharat? I am sure the same amount of thinking, same line of thinking has gone into our leaders, because the chief thinkers, the key thinkers of this government actually talk and think on these lines. And I am so glad that we are talking about independent India and creating our own capabilities, upskilling our people, making the Atmanirbhar Bharat. And now look at the business model of Medhaj. Medhaj is a purely Indian company. We work mainly for our government clients, be it central government or state government, and we work in the infrastructure. I personally think we actually have had no problem in the governments we had in 70-75 years, because government's job should be only to build roads, work on electricity, now provide Wi-Fi also, and rest everything should be done by private sector. And we are a purely Indian company. We understand this space, 13 years of experience. We have so much of capability to understand the Indian ecosystem. We have world's finest bureaucracy in our own country. Because some of the great work, all the great work frankly has been some thinking of some good well-meaning bureaucrat in the country. So if you look at the quality and quantity of work which has happened in last few years, Saubhagya scheme, Deen Dayal Gram Jyoti Yojana scheme, IPDS scheme, tremendous amount of work has happened in last few years, and now government is coming with many new schemes also, new set of work which will change again, which will create a lot of employment. So frankly, with Atmanirbhar Bharat, our Honorable Prime Minister has given us a new target, which means a lot to the companies like Medhaj. We have an appetite of creating millions of Medhaj in this own country with this new. And so to your question, we are just at the tip of the iceberg, and I am super excited at this stage because we have everything what it takes to grow 20 folds than what we have achieved so far.
Wow, that's a lovely vision and lovely. Actually, it always brings a lot of understanding, because actually your studies are so deep and so understanding. So what I just said about that, these new changes which our president or our prime minister are changes, will actually, you believe that it will narrow the growth gap, which is actually the difference between 3 and 35?
See, it's not going to happen from 3 to 35 overnight or a few years, but we need a blueprint. We need that thought process, and because if you look at the basics, we have everything. And I strongly believe in the power of nature. Why has nature? We don't have the highest area in the world, but we have highest population in the world. And China and India have got the highest population in the world. So why has nature given us so much of population? And So we have our own market. Frankly, we don't need any other market, and we are the only country, and probably China too, which can actually boast of this. All we need to do is, can we create our products and services? Why don't we have our own YouTube? When all the traffic being generated on YouTube is from, most of the traffic is from India. Why don't we have our own Google? Why don't we have our own Insta? Why don't we have our own Facebook? So I frankly, and all our big companies, top-notch IT companies of Indian origin, they actually generate most of their revenue from US. And these companies only, for which India is the market. So somehow our corporate sector has not done justice when it comes to creating our own products of that nature, though we have best of brains. And frankly, there is so much of hue and cry about H1B visa. I am so happy. I wish Trump cancels all H1B visa and let a lot of that talent comes back to India, because we have enough opportunity. See, the breakthrough happens when you are out of your comfort zone. And those kind of breakthroughs, we have talent of Indian origin all across the world. They come back to India, they will create those set of people. And frankly, we are not waiting for them to come back. Our own in-house people, people who are in the country are capable of doing that. So I think we are in a absolutely best of the times. Maybe we will see a blip in some quarters or maybe 1 or 2 years. Maybe there is a contraction of economy. I was reading some study of IMF that we may see a 4 to 4.5% economy, but that is absolutely least of our concern, because if you have to sometimes lose small battles to win a big war. So I think it's like that only.
Very well, sir. Very well, sir. Coming on, continuing this discussion, Swami. So how do you feel like Medhaj as a company is actually contributing to this mission of our Prime Minister, and how Medhaj is different from other companies in comparison?
See, frankly, Medhaj's philosophy only is that we are not trying to replicate any other company, because we are creating our own brand. We are creating our own, because the narrative of how we are, who we are, what we are, and how will we operate comes from the vision of our founder, our CMD sir himself, and he works on very basic things. We should have good value system. We should be good human beings, and he does not actually care much about growth, path, targets, ambition. All he cares about is that our value system should be right, and those who know Medhaj well, they know that we practice what we preach, and he preaches about these basic things only, that be a good human being, and love your country, be nationalist, and let's not do things which are wrong. And so I think these are the right principles for any business to grow. And with these principles, and he actually has given this narrative to us, we all strongly believe in these narratives. When a right narrative has been given, what do you need next? Set of people who believe in that narrative, and I don't think, I have worked in many companies of multinational companies, Indian companies, and I can't think of any other company which would have this kind of management bandwidth, which are so loyal, which are so talented, and which are all developed in-house. And that is our DNA, and that is our difference from the other companies. Because see, all the companies talk about integrity. We also talk about integrity. But our CMD's philosophy is build loyalty in your company. Integrity will come naturally. What a beautiful thought. If your people will stay for say 8 years, 10 years in a company, and they have seen all the weathers along with you on the base of family values and all, they are obviously, no one wants to lose their job, or no one wants to part off. And in 8 to 10 years, integrity is the last thing which they would like to mess up with. When they know from the day one that integrity is important for this organization. So we are different because we are not trying to copy anyone. We are creating our own value system, and all these value system comes from the beliefs of our CMD sir, which are, and in fact he sees everything in 3 parts. He said even human body, you have a mental body, you have a physical body, and you have a spiritual body. So in fact last week I asked him does this apply to an organization also? He said, of course, yes. And physical body means our people. Mental body means our business model and our strategies. Spiritual body means compassion, love. Love is the love and compassion is the basic DNA of this, which brings all the spiritual energies we have in Vedaj. Our business model, so far we have been successful, so we believe that every year we celebrate Vedaj Day to do an introspection also whether we are on the right track or not. So far we have been successful and we have been thinking about the strategies which will follow in future. So I believe that we are on the right track, and people, our biggest pride point, because I have myself worked in world's best companies, and I can say this level of loyalty, this level of talent. In fact, our biggest challenge now is that number of talented people have increased beyond proportion in Vedaj across sites, and now we have to plan for their future. That how to keep all of them engaged, give them enough intellectual appetite so that they feel satisfied, because so our challenge is not dearth of talent, our challenge is abundance of talent and how to keep them engaged.
Awesome. Sir, actually, you have a lot of experience in working with biggest MNCs and all. So, do you actually feel that culture and values are actually contributing to the performance of the organization as a whole?
Absolutely. I mean, they are central, they are core to the performance of the organization, because see, there are two. One is your immediate performance and there is your long-term performance, sustainability of performance. Short term you may succeed without culture or without value system, but long term the repeated performance can only come if you already have, once you have a culture of an organization. And it does not matter what is the culture, but every organization will have a different DNA, every organization will have a different culture. Vedaj has a set of culture. I'm not saying that it's perfect culture, because there may be certain things which some employees are not comfortable in our some set of culture, certain other employees are more comfortable, but there has to be, because culture brings predictability of performance. If you perform, I mean, you may win a race today, but you may lose 10 races starting from tomorrow. Is that a performance? No, that is not a repeatable performance. So to answer your question, the predictability of sustained performance comes from the culture and values of an organization, while short-term success may come to any organization. So and that is why every Vedaj Day is important, because we have a lot of butterflies in the stomach every year, that how are we going to sustain, how are we going to survive. We ask this question every year, and this is the 13th year. Why is every passing year more important? Because with every passing year, our faith in our systems, our culture, our value gets reinforced. Probably we have done something right as far as culture and values are concerned, that is keeping us on the path of success so far.
Should I believe you'd like to ask something from the client point of view?
Sir, after these discussions, one question was coming to our mind ki, we are working under your guidance from last 9 years. And what the best part is that we are learning different things every day. In fact, every year, every day, every week. The thing is ki, the most focus point of your part is on our client. Since our clients are very different, it's a government client and it's very difficult to handle different government clients. So, how do you describe your clients? I mean, Vedaj clients, and what do you feel about them?
Good question. It's a tricky question. Actually, when I was leaving my previous organization, which was 9 years back, and it was a great organization. I think in my entire career, I rate that organization as the best organization to work for. My bosses were trying to hold me, and when they learned that I'm going to my own setup, they said, one of my bosses asked me, what is the business you are into? And I told them that we actually, in our own setup, we work only with government clients. And he gave me, because he had some experience in his own career with government clients, and he shared that experience with me to terrify me, to create a fear of God in me, that I change my decision and don't come to this side. And here are my 9 years of experience, and I have very strong, very firm views on government clients. And here are my views. Government clients are more talented, more focused, better by any means than private clients. We talked a lot about integrity and loyalty at the beginning. Ritesh asked some good questions. See, integrity is a more talked about thing in private sector. Frankly, if you ask me one trait for which I have always been known for, it has been integrity, because that is why you see so much of me talking so much about integrity. Even in Medhaj, I try to instill those values across all sides, because that comes naturally to me. That is what my grooming has been. But when I moved to this side, then I came to know that there was so much of, because see, our CMD always says that society has everything. It has mafia also, it has all kind of wrong practices also, but we don't know because we are not a part of it. In my entire career, I had actually never been part of anything which had to do with a dishonesty or when I was in private organizations. So I did not know. But when I came to this side, then I realized that there was no less corruption in private sector also. But that was not so much talked about. Now coming to the government clients. Government, first of all, client is a client. There is no difference as far as service provider is concerned, be it government client or private client. Second is, government clients are so focused. Think about your college days. You are also an engineer, you are a chartered accountant, I am an engineer. When we were passing out from our colleges, we actually gave some interviews and got selected, right? And started our job. And now think about the government clients, what were they doing? They actually took 2-3 extra years and then got into their job. What were they doing? They were actually preparing for exams. What are IITs famous for? Because their filtering process is so difficult. Not that IITs are the best institution in all respects, but still they are the best institution because their brain is respected more because their filtering process is very difficult. So best of brains, or as one believes, that they go to IIT. That is what they are respected for. Similarly, the entry process of government is so tough that not a mediocre will get into a government job. So they prepare. Second is, today after 9 years of experience, what I feel, you ask what is the difference between a government client and a private client. So government clients have a bigger heart, and because they are trained to follow processes, they are more process oriented and they are more fair compared to private client. Private client, because there is a hierarchy, 2-3 levels, if they decide to be unfair with you, you can't do much about it. But government has a process. Government gives you, Medhaj has no reasons to be unhappy with the government because we are the creation of government processes. And I always give this example that if we go to get work from a MNC, say one of the largest MNCs, they will ask us, oh, you are 12-year-old, or you have, so they will come with a bias but government clients come with a tender. They give a fair chance. Government processes are such that they give fair chance to any organization to come in and participate. They will not discriminate you because you are an MNC and you are an Indian company. You fulfill the condition and you are there. If you are a newcomer, there is a set of tenders where you will qualify. If you are an experienced company, there is another set of tenders. But by and large, even Reliance and all, they actually grew from government. They started, Dhirubhai Ambani started his business from government clients only. So I think government and government clients, frankly, some of the best practices I keep telling our employees we should learn from our government client, because they work on Saturday, Sundays also. They have they have less resources most of the times, and under which they have to perform, and their pressure is much higher than what we have, because off late the governments are becoming more and more demanding. If you look at our chief ministers are more competitive, more hardworking compared to what we used to have in past many years back. And there were the targets given to our government organizations are much more stringent than it used to be earlier. And these clients are still delivering. Look at what Saubhagya, Bihar, UP, Jharkhand, these states, all these states, Rajasthan, Punjab, Uttarakhand, and everyone has delivered so much in last few years. And our targets were so stringent that I used to think that probably if I was in private sector, I would have asked for much higher level of resources to fulfill these targets. But our government, I mean, Chief Minister announces something. In fact, I was in a function at Bihar, and Mr. Pratyay Amrit, who is the Principal Secretary there, and Chief Minister just changed the target by 1 year in front of 1,000 people in the auditorium. And because Chief Minister also there is very aspirational, he means well for the state, and Principal Secretary did not have an option, and he actually delivered. So these people, our government clients, they deliver, they work under more limited resources, and they have to be fair to the people because they are more process driven, and there are some problems which everyone talks about, and but those problems are there very much in the private sector. And after 9 years, I can say that probably will be very difficult for me to work with private client because I find so much of fairness in the ecosystem. If frankly, if one set of people, they are not listening to you, there is you can go above them. And bureaucracy, I think this India, I mean, I feel very high. I have great opinion about the bureaucracy which is there in Indian system because they bring lot of sanity. There are, I think, 150 to 200 seats every year, IAS officers. I mean, for them, it's getting more difficult every year. Number of seats are coming down. But the process through which they come, it's very difficult. And also, after that, the kind of training they get, that's best-in-class training they get, and they deliver also. So, I thoroughly enjoy working with our Indian setup, with the government setup. And I am pretty certain that with these institutions, with these setup only, we will actually move further on the trajectory from 3 to 35% of GDP what we had in 18th century.
Wow, sir, what an experience with our government clients. So, sir, actually we are working in almost all states. So, and in fact you have met with all the clients. More or less you have met with all the clients. So, can you please elaborate or want to share which is the best state to work with?
See, I can tell you very upfront that India is the best country to work, right?
State? I know it's very difficult at this point of time we should differentiate.
I want to be present in all the states. I want to work hard in all the states. It's very difficult to select one state because every state brings different kind of strengths and opportunity. UP has seen tremendous change in last couple of years. The quality of leadership, the quality of bureaucracy, the quality of political leadership, everything has improved significantly. So UP gives us volume. So it is one of the best states because the leadership is improving, the volume is there. Bihar has the most visionary leadership in the last 4 or 5 years because probably, I mean, I rate him as one of the best bureaucrat of India, the Principal Secretary Mr. Amrit there, because he has actually bring so much of change, the kind of dynamism in the entire power sector. He has given the path, the right way of executing project to all the other states. And Jharkhand has done very well. Jharkhand has implemented all its project very well on time in last couple of years. Uttarakhand, Punjab, these states have implemented their project with lot of diligence. Rajasthan has done very well. So, and these are the states where future opportunities are also coming. Assam is doing very well. Assam has actually, and so all these are our.
It's very diplomatic answer.
So it's not diplomatic, it's a true answer. And just to give you a pointed answer, I mean, I cannot give you a factually incorrect answer.
Okay, thank you, sir. Actually, one more question is there. Since you are here from last 9 years and we are working under your guidance from last 9 years, and you have seen various ups and downs with all the teams you are working with, and most of the times you have guided us that how to work like MNCs, and we need to follow some processes, system process. For that, we call you as a management guru. So, have you ever, can you please describe the Methaj, future of Methaj, or Methaj as a future? Have you ever imagined how it would be?
So, like always, many things you have misquoted me, Shweta. You have misunderstood me, like many other times, like you always do. So, so I have never said that we have to follow any MNC. So
We are actually, these are the best things that we should incorporate in our day-to-day processes, because we need to follow all these things.
okay. So let me tell you what I said, and viewers, this is exactly what I said. What I'm going to tell you now. So forget what Shweta just told you. What I have always been telling, that though we are all out for our people and we will care for them, they care for us, we will have family values. But I strongly believe in that processes are here to stay, and people are always bound to leave an organization. So focus, while you are focusing on people, focus equally or rather more on processes. That's what I meant to say. When we talk about MNCs or big organization or big or Indian organizations, why are they successful? Because they started growing and they kept pace also with the processes around that. 13 years, we have continuously grown, and if you ask my satisfaction points, we have grown. My dissatisfaction points, probably a lot of things with that growth we should have kept pace with, and we have not kept pace on those things we need to focus on. So on process, what are we going to do in the future years to keep that pace? I think now we should focus on 4 things, and that is going to be our priority now going forward. First is total client experience. So far we have been talking about client satisfaction, client delight. Now is the time of when we should talk about total client experience. Because when client refers to their requirement, Methaj is the first name which should come to their mind. And that will happen only when they will see Methaj as an organization where we are in a services industry. We don't provide any product. We provide services. So when they think about Methaj, they should first think that, oh, it's a very honest organization. That is, do we have that experience, that impression in their mind? Oh, it's a very high quality organization. Oh, their people are very grounded. Oh, they always come with solution. They always come with innovation. Because our client, we are a consulting organization. We have to understand how our client organizations are also changing. We are everywhere. What is being talked about is innovation, automation, artificial intelligence, Industry 4.0, machine learning. Are we also talking about those things? Because client needs that. So we have to be aligned with that. If clients start thinking about Methaj as, oh, great set of people, grounded people, always giving solutions, always educating them, because we are a consulting organization, we have to be teachers also to our people. Before anyone else talks about what is going to happen tomorrow, we should go to client and tell them that how is the future going to look like. So total client experience is going to be the first keyword which I want to every Methajite to think about, that when they are in field, when they are acting as brand ambassadors of Methaj, are they actually thinking about total client experience? And it does not come only by giving your reports in time. It is a holistic approach. Second is total employee experience. Right from the time an employee applies for a job in your organization to the time he is fully delivering, what is his experience? Does he think that Methaj is a caring organization? I think we have done fairly well, because we really take care of our people. And but do we have enough platforms within the company for an employee to feel, wholeheartedly happy and satisfied. It is not only about taking work. It is about making him feel skilled, making him feel happy, making him feel entertained. And there also I think we have, in fact lockdown, we would be one of the very few organizations which used lockdown as a brilliant opportunity to do a lot of things which we were not doing earlier. We would have conducted more than 35-40 training sessions. I think 25 to 30 new people cropped up to my utter surprise as trainers, and shared their 1 hour training session every evening 6 to 7. We used to have our own Facebook live training session. Then our Medhaj News viewership went by 20-fold. Now we have we are running at a pace of 6 lakh viewers every month, unique users every month. And earlier we used to have about 30,000 unique users, less than 30,000 every month. And Medhaj News, and I was just getting a count how many, all of a sudden in last, so many poets have, new poets are born in Medhaj. More than 100 poems have been published in Medhaj News, and such a wonderful readership. And one would be surprised when I share the number. Our poems are the most viewed articles on Medhaj News. I mean, one poem of our employee was actually read by more than 25-30,000 viewers. And that's a great, so we are giving actually a platform for people for creativity and innovation also. So second pillar which I want to every Medhajite to think about is total employee experience. And all this is not for me to ensure. Everyone who considers himself to be a senior in the organization, it can be at a site level, it can be at a DISCOM level, it can be at a head office level, any office, anyone who considers he or she should feel himself responsible to create a great total employee experience. And it is on the training, on the how we treat them, how our policies, our HR policies, our increment policies, our benefits policies, the platform which we give them for their skill enhancement, everything. Then third pillar, the strategy which is about going to make a difference, our increased focus on innovation. See, in fact, and now we are better suited because for many years I wanted to give this advice to our clients, because our clients are mostly DISCOMs and transmission utilities. Most of them don't even have an ERP system properly implemented. Forget about any other workflow and all. And we already had this governance in place. Because for many years, I think for last 7-8 years, we are following our governance through Zoom. Now Zoom is not a much preferred system, WebEx, but we have been following our WhatsApp groups. Even when people did not use WhatsApp, did not know most of the people about WhatsApp, we were having our own groups for the communication. So in terms of our innovative practices, we have always been ahead. And but we have to now move to the next level, because how do we automate everything? Alka ma'am is focused heavily on that, and she has actually been trying to automate most of our business processes. And so she and I work very closely on this front. So innovation is going to be the key word, and we have set up a separate group on Industry 4.0 that because Industry 4.0 is an umbrella term for everything upcoming or every trending technology, be it artificial intelligence, machine learning, or nanotechnology, everything which is trending. So we have a special group which is trying to identify how is it applicable in power sector. In fact, I had an opportunity of talking about this to some senior bureaucrats and political leadership, that how exactly we plan to make this successful in power sector. And then fourth is youth. How to keep Medhaj always a youthful organization. Because this is not about hiring youth. Even a 55-year-old person can be very youthful. And how to maintain that youthfulness in the organization. Because if we can ensure these four things: total client experience, total employee experience, total innovation, and youth, maintaining youth in the organization, youthfulness in everything we do, I don't think no one can beat us. And especially, it is not about beating any ways, because we have come a long way, not by meeting anyone else. I think there are a lot of consulting organizations which got started much before us, during the time we started, and after that also after we started, and most of them have not survived. It's a difficult sector to be in for various reasons. We have survived, and now we want to, and we see a lot of opportunities. 3 to 35% is the Mool Mantra as far as I am concerned. And if you read the book Target 3 Billion by our Honorable ex-President, Mr. Abdul Kalam, it talks about Indian entrepreneurs only, young generation, that entrepreneurship is the only thing we should embrace as a country. And so we are just full of opportunity everywhere. And we are so well positioned. We have the best management team, we have the best people across sites, and we have so much of talent that in the 14th, I think a couple of years back, if you ask me, my focus used to be how to ensure that we have the right talent in the country. And now we are talking about we have enough talent in the company, and how to ensure that we have enough work for them and make them stay motivated and engaged.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Actually, we are doing Medhaj 4.0, talent management, everything, and big thank to you only, because what we were doing is only we were executing the project, we were satisfying the client, and not satisfaction up to the level of management. So what we are doing is only because of your guidance, and this was the only thing that I wanted to say. These processes I was talking about. So
I was just kidding.
सर रितेश, आपके कुछ क्वेश्चंस तो नहीं और आ रहे हैं? ये बहुत ही टेक्निकल डिस्कशन हो गया है, थोड़ा सा इसको लाइट भी करना चाहिए।
Right. So, sir, coming back to the operation part of our company, as you were right, just stating about the hiring of the youth, and you're more focusing on like bringing of the talent. So, what actually, when you have someone in Medhaj, what do you see in him, and what's actually in your mind when selecting a particular criteria, a particular CV?
See, as far as our hiring philosophies are concerned, we don't believe in hiring from best institutions because that is how we are different. So you asked a question, how are we different from Shweta asked, how are we different from other companies? We absolutely don't believe in hiring from best of the institutions, because we believe that we have best of people all across India who did not get best of opportunities in their life, and we have a lot of good things within Medhaj. So how to ensure that these good things, because we have what is the use of my 20 years of experience across world's best organization when it is my own organization, and if I don't spend my time in ensuring that all my 20 years of good things are not passed on to these people. Easier way would be hire the best and get the best from them. But then you are not making a difference in society. We started a session called Srijan, one-day management training session, where we used to call 25 to 30 people from the side. And whatever I had learned in 20 years of my experience, and I just try to put this as one-day MBA or one-day management training session. And so whatever my learnings have been in form of a formal session, I just started those sessions. So whatever philosophies we have, when I hire people, I just think that how much trainable he is, because I don't expect too much of technical knowledge and all as far as hiring youth is concerned and hiring freshers are concerned. When we hire for specific training, specific profile where people have to be with 10 years or 15 years of experience, obviously technical skills are more important, which gets trained in, which gets tested in various rounds of interviews and all, which our HR and technical team, they do a great job in that. But finally, when I have to interview anyone, I look at the attitude only, and whether how well he or she will fit into the Medhaj culture, and what is his or her appetite, and more on the attitude side, because that is what matters for Medhaj. At the end of the day, even if you did not have best of experience in your college, best of technical knowledge, we know we have a very robust training setup, we have a very robust management trainings, technical trainings, and we will help you catch up on that. But what we cannot help you is with your value system. So and there is no right way or no perfect way to test anyone, but I just want to test on the value system, and once they are into the system of Medhaj, will they go long way once they are trained on with our own training infrastructure? Are they going to go stick for long, and this is what value they will bring? Those are the kind of things I look for in people when I make any hiring decision.
So in making decision, which factor is more important for you? A person to be a better leader or person to be a better follower?
See, frankly, it depends on the role. Because we are not looking for 1,000, because we hire in bulk and we hire in huge numbers. Whenever new project comes, sometimes you have to hire 500, 600 people, and we are not hiring for 500, 600 leaders in that role. So it depends on the role for which a person is being hired. So when we were hiring you, surely we were looking for a leadership quality, right? Because someone like you had to lead the entire finance process, finance team. When we were hiring Shweta, we were looking for a good follower, but eventually she turned out to be a leader, because Shweta, when she was hired, it was her first job, and this was 20 years back. 12 years back, and so obviously it depends on the level for which you are having leadership quality. See, no one is a perfect leader, and if you ask me, really, everyone will have some leadership trait, some follower trait, and I don't consider anyone to be a perfect leader. So it's very difficult to say that leadership skill, someone has been hired as a leader, someone has been hired. It's both. It's a mix of both. You need to have some leadership traits, some good, because if you are not a good team player, anyways you are going to fail. So teamwork is the most important trait for me when I am hiring anyone, because he has to work in a team, and he will be successful only if he is able to work with you.
Excellent, sir. So sir, continuing this only, any tips for the young generation, the coming young generations?
See, because we hire mainly engineers and also non-engineers now with projects in IT-enabled services, I would say stability of mind is the most important thing, because and total employee experience, because these days people leave jobs only for a few thousands also, and which is fine. I think money is important in life and in everyone's life, and I can only share based on the experience which I see around, because one thing good about Medhaj, I don't know good or bad, but and this is not exaggeration, about 70 to 80% of the people who leave Medhaj, they want to join back Medhaj within 6 months or 1 year, and now this period is also shrinking. People leave Medhaj and within a month, and there are so many examples all across states. And when you ask the reason, they very basic reason, sir, we got 30% jump, 20% jump, 10% jump, and that's why we changed. And when we joined, we found out that the company does not pay in time, and company does not pay their salaries, or company is winding up, or most important reason, we are missing Medhaj culture, because here we can't even talk to our managers properly, and there CMD sir, you, Alka ma'am, and all the seniors were so accessible. And that is what is more important for young generation to understand, that what is the culture, what is the environment you are getting, and why I feel so confident of my leadership team, about 50 people, that they are never going to leave. That kind of comfort level is required for any management, senior management to have. Why? Because that gives you stability. Because I know that these people, एक बार शेर के वो खून लग जाता है, तो वो कहीं उसको दूसरी चीज के लिए नहीं जाएगा. तो वैसे ही we create an environment that people don't leave, and Medhaj is the company, because we have created and we get this recognition from everyone who knows Medhaj, watches Medhaj, that the kind of culture we have created, and so don't leave. If you are leaving and you are sure, if you have got a better thing in life and you are sure about it, do leave. I'm not saying that you have to retire from Medhaj, but don't leave to join back only within a month or within 6 months, and to realize your fault. And people who normally leave on a good note, and they have done their job properly, they have served the notice period, we don't have any issues in taking them back. But my one tip to all the young generation is that when you have got a good company, stable company, try to stick to it, because if you don't do this, it's not going to help your career only. We are an organization, we will get someone else, and so organization will keep running. But it's sad to see some of you in such big problems. And second is integrity is important, because integrity will take you to long term in any organization. And we are an organization where integrity is very important, because we are eyes and ears of our clients. We supervise their projects on their behalf. And if we are not known for high integrity, then we are not going to sustain for long. So, and that is why we have so much of vigilance, alerts, checks and balances in our system. And don't get into wrong practices, because so that you get caught on the wrong side. And it's too early for you to be known as, to be labeled as dishonest or someone who was fired on integrity. It's not going to help you, and you all have families. And because these things are not forgiven also ever in Medaj. Because if one case of integrity, I would have doubt, and you will be fired. Because that is one thing which I never believe in tolerating.
So we at Medaj feel very lucky that we have you as a guidance to us, which makes our goal, our growth and everything so clear and so positive. Actually, the young generations, I've seen many of the young generation. Before coming to you, I was just discussing with some of the young lads which have the talent, which have the degrees, but actually are not getting the orders and talents, and they only have a problem that they don't have a particular weightage on the two things which a client requires. Whether client satisfaction has a more weightage or the quality of operation has more weightage.
Client satisfaction will come only if the quality of operation is there. So what's the question?
Basically, on the survey to some of the clients, some of the young lads which are working here, this is that whether it is important that your client should always be satisfied, irrespective of what he requires in the operation, or you have to stick on your operational facts, figures, and your operation should not sacrifice on the count of client satisfaction.
If you will ask me, I will always say that quality will always be more important, because even if you satisfy your client through some shortcut, or he is going to be dissatisfied in the long run. And if you are creating an organization for short-term success, then go for response time. And by the way, that has been our challenge also. It's not that we have been perfect in that. And in our journey, I'm thankful to my clients, because we have got best of our clients, and I have highest level of respect and regard for my client, because they have always stood by us, amongst all the odds, and they have given us the true feedback at right point of time. In fact, one of the client is so dear to me. When I was visiting him, he gave me an example that Mr. Tripathi, if you do a survey in the entire building, because you have worked on various projects, and everyone has some views on Medaj, and this was 3-4 years back. And if you do a survey, I can guarantee you the 10 out of 10, or if you talk to 100 people, 100 out of 100 people will give you 10 on a scale of 10, 10 being best, on responsiveness. So if there is a problem with any of the Medaj consultant, and if you raise the problem, in few hours, few minutes only, some hierarchy will call you, and if not, the director only will call you. So that is the reputation you all have. So that is on the responsiveness. But then he also said that, but on the quality of issue resolution, it's not that you guys are always perfect. कभी-कभी आप लोग issues की जलेबी भी बना देते हैं पूरी. So I took that feedback, but I was so glad that at least on the responsiveness we were being recognized. And last couple of years, we have on a consulting organization, even when I was with world's best organizations, in the client feedback never ever used to be perfect. Client is a client, and if the client will say that I am 100% satisfied, he also. So I love my clients who push us to the wall, and for us to give our best, and but they stand by us when we are in problem. So, but without quality, no client is going to rate you very high, or you can't be their repeat client when your quality is not there. But it has to be both responsiveness and quality.
Thank you, sir. As you just talked about, there is always something good, something good. Sir, taking your role as a director of Medals, do you feel any failures in you as a role of a director of Medals?
See, I would not say failure, but I would definitely, every day I am very dissatisfied with my own performance, with our own performance. And I think that is how it should be. Because if we are all satisfied, then where is going to improve, where is the improvement going to come from? So, but the 4 things which I mentioned, actually it comes from there only. Because I think the pace of improvements on various things should have been faster at Medals, in my own view. We have been, a lot of things get hidden because most of our competitors are not anyways doing most of these things. They are not focused. When I talk to our key employees of our key competitors, they come, we are never hunting for any a particular company that we need employees from this company. But if you look at Medals is HR factory of power sector now. Because any contractor, any other consulting companies, if they get a job, they get a new order, first thing they have to start doing is hunt people from Medals. Because they know that Medals spends a lot on training, so you will get trained, experienced resources from Medals. And so sometimes that gives me satisfaction also. And to your point, I feel a bit disappointed also that why did we lose some of our people to competitors? Because we took a lot of pains in training them. But then, but that's a good thing also that you are being recognized as one of the hotspots from where you can get hot talent. And in fact, when I go to various discoms and I see so many of our employees only coming from the other sides, our competitor side or our contractor side, and they will, some of them, obviously, we get a lot of respect from our employees. Some people will come and touch our feet and say, I was your employee at this side. And I feel, when I check where are you working now, they said, now I'm working with this consulting company or this TKC. That gives me a satisfaction, but I somehow feel that we should have been able to retain some of our good people in past. And second is, we should have done more work on total client experience, total employee experience, innovation, and at least on these 3 areas, we should have done more work in these years, and that is why these are the focus areas for the next years.
Awesome. So we are talking so much about the training sessions and all. Your quick views on on your thoughts on talent management are also linked to the performance management.
See, talent management is a very big term, and it's an umbrella term covering a lot of things. But what it means to me is, because we are a project-based organization, and one of the challenges which we have is that when a project comes to an end, so far it has not been a big challenge, and God has been kind. Our BD team has been great, that they have been able to win orders always. We have been continuously growing. So we didn't have challenge in deploying most of the people who get free from one project, because by the time one project is getting free, getting over, other projects are there. So, but it's not always possible. So when you are in a position where you are not able to continue with some people because of dearth of work, lack of work, then your talent if you are going to let your people, good people go, it's a failure on our part as a management philosophy. So, so there is some amount of insecurity amongst employees also, that what will happen to us after this project. And if it is a good employee, very loyal employee, honest employee, doing his job properly, and if he has to go, it's a failure on our part also, that we did not create work for him or her. There comes into play talent management, because that is why I have focused so much on in last couple of years, that who are the people, identify your people who are technically very strong, integrity wise they are very high, and are you communicating your priorities well to them, so that when time to part off, unfortunately when that comes, then every employee should know that if I have given my best on technical matters, on client satisfaction, on integrity, on value addition to the company, then chances I am safe. And so talent, and that is the linkage between talent management and performance management. So if I am performing well, and for me to perform well, I should have confidence in the company also that there are enough platforms which will ensure that I perform well. There are training sessions happening, there are assessment happening, that we know that what are the weak points of our company. As soon as anyone joins, the training mechanism, machinery should start working, and person should feel that gradually I am going up on my skill map. So talent management is doing its job. Performance management system, we should be able to identify our good performers on all the parameters, and that is why they are all linked. Talent management and performance management are linked. I think we have a very robust process around that, because now we have got some new projects, and we are able to identify our good people, where the projects are going to come to an end, and we are able to do all this only because we have that talent management system and performance management system in place. And we will continue to evolve that on these things.
Thank you so much, sir. And congratulations that Medaj as a group has evolved into a new customer-centric services. Congratulations for that. We just come to know that Medajite Solutions company has come up. A new bunch of people have joined the company, and they have joined the journey of Medaj in the middle. So, few words for them that they are also aligned with they are not different, and they are aligned with the Medaj as a whole. Few words for them.
Definitely. I think eSuvidha project which we got about a year back, and it has merged so well with the culture of Medaj, and we have about 300 people, and we are going to grow across the state. It's currently in just one discom, and these people are terrific people, best set of people I have seen in my career, because so dedicated, and we are so lucky to have got these 300 people, because they know their work very well. They have been working, and all we needed to do was merge them into Medaj culture. And eSuvidha is a very complex, difficult project, because you are handling, every minute you are handling a new client. So client satisfaction and all, while consulting has fixed set of clients for every engineer which you have to manage, and you have repeated options or transactions to satisfy them. If you fail in one report, you have enough opportunity in your other reports to impress him, but there is only one opportunity every month for these people. And by and large, we have I think people going to eSuvidha centers are very satisfied, even that to the extent that we want to digitalize them, automate because people used to use online system, but they are so comfortable in going to eSuvidha centers because of that relationship, rapport, and I have so much to learn from them, because every time we have an operational challenges, these people just stand up to all the occasion and support us like anything, and keep up the hard work. And these people are very hardworking, very disciplined, and they are part of Medaj family. So, like anyone else.
So kind words, sir. So your wishes for the coming annual day.
I wish everyone a great success, and I think I need help from each one of you at all the sites, because whatever 4 things which I told, I will just to summarize again in case you did not follow the full interview. Total client experience, total employee experience, innovation, and youthfulness. In the company, if we maintain these 4 things, I think we are going to rock. And if you want more information, go to the full interview again, because I talked enough on these 4 points, and these are the new mantra. And I think we in one of the earlier Medaj days, few years back, when we had a big event in Indira Gandhi Pratishthan, we talked about Big 8, Honorable Prime Minister's vision of having Big 8 and new 4 companies to be from Indian origin, and Big 4s are Big 4s. So we thought that let's start working towards that, and let's at least put in all the seeds of traits of a Big 8 organization in Medaj, and every year we will continue to evolve. And this year, I really want each one of you to think about these 4 pillars which I just talked about, and see how you can contribute in all 4 of them. It is not either or, and there is enough happening on Medhaj News, Medhaj Astro, Medhaj News and trainings. So be a part of everything, because these all things are for everyone at site, and people who are missing out on this fun, you are actually going behind in your career, because you are in an organization which is thinking day in and day out for you, to give you these opportunities, and you are not using them. And you all owe this to your career. At least give your best, and these are my wishes, my best wishes to everyone. And I just hope that you are able to leverage everything which is being worked upon by the Medhaj management team.
These are the management mantras from the management group for coming 14 years of journey.
I never considered myself to be any management guru. And
Found you as a management guru, so we
I always get embarrassed when you all, because I know so many people in my lifetime who qualify to be management gurus, and how little, how small I am in front of them. But it's all
in front of us. You are the management guru.
yeah, maybe. But I mean, one thing which I really like, the kind of affection and love I get in Medhaj from my people, and the way you guys look up to us, to CMD sir, to welcome him, with all the affection which we get, it is out of proportion, more than I think what I at least deserve, because I don't give back the same level of affection, because I am the bad boy for most of you.
So it's wrong. We are getting so much of attention from our management.
So thank you, but thank you for giving so much of affection, so much of trust, because I know a lot of people look up to us for with a lot of trust. I hope we are able to do some justice to all the faith and belief of our people in us, and thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank you sir so much, and congratulations to you again for completing 13 years, and
Thank
we
you.
wish you a lot of good health and all the coming year.
Thank you, and same to you.
So we'll thanks Director Operation, our sir, for coming on this stage and showering us with the blessings. It was nice meeting you all. Thank you.